It's tragic that this has happened, especially since it became national news. There's already people have thoughts about this area anyway. And this has sort of drawn attention to that. It's been like a big cloud, dark cloud over us.
There was a somber atmosphere here as dozens of mourners came out to pay their respects to Mullins, who was shot and killed Thursday afternoon. The visitation was from 2 to 6 p.m. and the funeral began at 3 p.m. According to Kentucky State Police, Mullins was shot and killed in his judge chambers around 3 p.m. on Thursday. Letcher County Sheriff Sean Steins was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. A motive is unknown at this time. Some attendees we spoke to recognize that it's a difficult day for the entire community and those close with Mullins, and calls him a great judge. Several police agencies attended, such as Jenkins Police Department, Fleming Neon Police Department, and Whitesburg Police Department. We reached out to the Mullins family, but they're asking for privacy during this time of mourning. In Letcher County, Kaylee Randall, LEX 18 News.
Steins will appear in court for an arraignment this Wednesday at 11 a.m. and our own Court TV Matt Johnson will be there for it all. Let me bring back in criminal defense attorneys Jack Rice and Josh Schiffer. Gentlemen, we are bringing it all today. This one doesn't make sense to me unless there's some motive we don't know about. It is a very small, close community that is shocked. They were good friends by all accounts. They've been colleagues for a very long time in the respective positions that they hold. There has to be more to the story, Jack.
Yeah, we're hearing rumblings that are out there right now, and all of those are unconfirmed, and I think that's what makes this incredibly difficult, but it highlights the broader point here. We're dealing with a very, very difficult system every single day. There is extraordinary violence involved in what we do. There is extraordinary stress involved in what we do, and I'm including everybody in the room, judges, the law enforcement, the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, all of the clients, everybody is part of this scrum. And you realize that what we do pays a price. There's a cost to that. We don't know what's going on here, but we know there's more to this because this doesn't make sense based upon the evidence, on the information that we have sitting in front of us.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to me that, Josh, then as soon as it happens, Steins, the sheriff, surrendered to the police. Yeah, I did it. Here I am. And I just have to ask you one other thing. A sheriff would be trained on how to shoot multiple gunshots, and all I could think was, wait a minute, if he knew he wanted to kill him, you would think it would be one gunshot and it's done versus multiple. Josh, please.
And it's all on video. And yeah, a lot of people think one and done, but that training would also teach you about the value of a double tap and how you put someone down permanently. And you don't know what happened. And right now, unfortunately, literally, everything's on the table. Like Jack referred to, there's some rumors and some scuttlebutt out there that paint a very, strong and challenging picture about what was going on. But we don't know. We know that it's a really small community. We know they've all worked together forever and that everything was going great. Sure, there was a lawsuit going on about a sheriff's deputy, and there'd just been a deposition the week before. And we know that the judge and the local DA both married a pair of sisters. So the DA has already stood back and recused himself from the prosecution. This has been sent up to the state of Kentucky, and I know Governor Beshear is assigning some people to handle the case. But there's really a complete blank slate right now. We need an independent investigation to find out exactly what caused an otherwise, hero local sheriff to, on camera in chambers, murder a judge. I've never, it just boggles the mind.
It boggles the mind. And Jack, talking about all of those different pieces of it, how refreshing, let's be honest, that they've already started off on the right foot. What do I mean by that? Josh, what you just said, which is the DA said, oh, I've got a conflict, I can't do this, and so someone else gets appointed. Those are the right steps to take to make certain at the end of the day that the rights of the defendant are protected, but also for justice for the family. They want privacy in order to grieve. Everyone should give them every moment of that, but for this judge and his family.
Your Honor, this is all about transparency. This is all about making sure that everybody believes in the system. I mean, it's a big part of what we're dealing with constantly is if you don't buy in, if none of us buy into how this works, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. It doesn't matter what the result is. It doesn't matter what the jury says. It doesn't matter what the judge says. So what we really have to have is confidence that says, this is justice. This is the truth. This is the evidence that was presented. This is what we determined, and that people believe this. Because if we have a system that starts to shake at its foundations, then what's going to happen is it doesn't matter what the outcomes are. We need to know that the process works. When the process works, then we can be confident in whatever the outcome is. And if we don't have it, then we have something much, much worse in the bigger sense.
Yeah. Do you remember, Josh, this was some years ago. I know you remember. You and I are both in the backyard of Fulton County, and a defendant got hold of a deputy's gun in court, fired, shot and killed multiple people, including the judge on the bench. Then there was a huge manhunt, finally caught and arrested. But my point is, I remember it shook everyone to their core, and this was a number of years ago. And the real focus on safety of judges, I think, even escalated after that. But there's no way to expect or protect from someone who also is charged with upholding the law in your community as a respected sheriff.
And that's really the hardest, you know, how do you prevent? How do we effectively have policy? You can't. These were two of the highest sworn, licensed, imbued by the people, by democracy, given the power and discretion by their community to be the people in charge and empowered with the ability to make decisions. And whatever happened with this exchange of cell phones, which apparently was immediately preceding the shooting, there's so much there, so many unanswered questions. I really hope at some point we get firm and unambiguous answers. That's kind of the hope when we're not worried about who done it as much as why. How did we get to this position where these two gentlemen, it's a tragedy for a community. This is eliminating the leadership in a small community, and that causes its own problems. It filters down.
Good point, and grief for the entire community, obviously. All right, gentlemen, stay with us, please. Coming up, we're still standing by in Ohio for openings to begin in the stabbed 55 times murder trial for Toby Madden. Plus, actor Alec Baldwin responds to the state's attempt to reinstate his case. That's up next.
Order Pizza Hut now and get a free large pizza later. That's a free pizza on your next order. So you can pizza now, then pizza again. Free pizza means your next dinner is covered. Your future self will thank you. Get it while it's hot. Only at Pizza Hut.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877-CASH now.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877-CASH now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877.
Call 877-CASH now to get a $100 gift card for a free quote.
You'll find them in cities, towns, and suburbs all across America. Millions of Americans who have Medicare and Medicaid, but may be missing benefits they could really use. Extra benefits they may be eligible to receive at no extra cost. And if you have Medicare and Medicaid, you may be able to get extra benefits too through a Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan. Call now to see if there's a plan in your area and to see if you qualify. All of these plans include doctor, hospital, and prescription drug coverage, plus something really special, the Humana Healthy Options Allowance, your allowance, to help pay for essentials like eligible groceries, utilities, and rent, even over-the-counter items. And whatever you don't spend gets carried over to the next month. Plus, with the Humana Medicare Advantage dual eligible special needs plan, you'll get other important benefits. All of these plans include dental coverage with 2 free cleanings a year plus fillings and a yearly exam. Vision coverage, including eye exams and a yearly allowance for eyewear. And hearing benefits, including routine hearing exams and coverage toward hearing aids. You'll also get free rides to and from medical appointments. Best of all, you'll pay nothing for covered prescriptions, even brand name ones, all year long. And $0 for many routine vaccines at in-network retail pharmacies. Plus, you'll have access to Humana's large networks of doctors and specialists. So if you have Medicare and Medicaid, call now to see if there's a plan in your area that will give you extra benefits. including an allowance to help pay for essentials, plus no cost for covered prescriptions and coverage for routine dental, vision, and hearing. A knowledgeable, licensed Humana sales agent will explain your coverage options and, if you're eligible, help you enroll over the phone. It's that easy. Call today, and we'll also send this free guide. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
At Bombas, we make the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. So comfortable, you'll wish you had more. Visit bombas.com and get 20% off your first order.
What will you do when the power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable and inconvenient, but with a Generac home standby generator, your life goes on uninterrupted, because when your Generac detects a power outage, it automatically powers up, giving your family the security and peace of mind they deserve.
We don't have to worry about whether we lose power or not. If the utility company does not come through, our Generac does.
After the hurricane happened, we just want to be prepared for anything.
8 out of 10 home generators are Generac, with thousands of satisfied customers.
The number one thing to prepare for is extended power outages. Don't make it so hard on yourself. Have a Generac home standby generator.
And owning a generator is easier than ever. Special financing and low monthly payment options are available. And if you call now, you will also receive a free 5-year warranty valued at over $500. Call or go online now to request your free quote.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott. We have so much going on, but right now we want to stay in Ohio. This is the stabbed 55 times murder trial where the defendant, Toby Madden, is accused of stabbing to death his girlfriend at the time. Now, court started a little bit ago. He came in crying, then sobbing uncontrollably. The judge took a recess in order for him to have a little break, and now we understand they're back in court. The jury is not inside the courtroom, but let's go back in.
Versus Madden. Again, the jurors are not present on behalf of the state. Our assistant prosecutors, Brad Burris and Michael Hahn, and Detective Horton is also present. In addition, Mr. Madden is present with his counsel, Mr. Wilder. Mr. Wilder, is there any need, do we need to address anything before the jurors are brought in?
Yes, I do believe we should, Your Honor. Given what just occurred in court, I'm a little concerned about Mr. Madden's emotional state on seeing some of his family members. And at the chance that that may repeat itself in front of the jury, I certainly don't want anything like that to be prejudicial to his defense or his case or his interests. So I do believe at this time, Mr. Madden, because of those reasons, the emotion of this and his family being here, I think he is preferring to be somewhere else in the courtroom, the courthouse, to watch by video, because I don't believe he can get through the portion of this, especially the beginning, without having the emotion he just displayed in court just a few moments ago.
Okay, Mr. Madden, you've heard Mr. Wilder's representation. Is that your, as what he expressed to the court, how you desire to proceed today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. For haven't seen him. Look at haven't seen my family and now her family. I'm just look at her. I feel.
All right. Well, it appears that you have regained your composure, and I do want you to have a fair trial and to be able to participate with your counsel in your defense. We've gone over a number of cases in the past talking about disruptions in the courtroom. Those include Illinois versus Allen, 90 Supreme Court 1057, and out of our Court of Appeals in the 12th District, State versus Cook, 2021 Ohio 2157, and State versus Kilgore, 2006 Ohio 2139. And as I indicated to you previously, we must have decorum in this courtroom and proceed without disruption. But I want to give you the opportunity to be here, but I can't let you disrupt the proceedings. So I'm going to give you one final caution and ask that you keep the decorum that these proceedings require. And if you fail to do that, I will have you removed from the courtroom, and we will take you to another room where you can view the trial on television, and but you will not be in the courtroom so that we can proceed with these matters. Mr. Burris, is there anything that you wish to put on the record at this time?
I'm in agreement with the court. I was just going to say, I don't think he's had an outburst yet in front of the jury that warrants removal at this point.
Very well. Okay, and is there anything that you wanted to put on the record before we bring the jurors in?
The statement was made in front of defense counsel. I do feel like I probably have to supplement discovery in some ways, so I will make an oral supplemental motion as to the statements that Mr. Madden made to family members and in front of the media. It's not actually some of them were from the court as well, that's on record. And then I will do a written supplemental discovery later on today when we get down to tomorrow night. I don't want to use the word prejudice, but obviously Mr. Wilder was right next to him, so he would have heard all the statements.
All right, we stopped the proceedings after you had raised the issue of the victim's representative being in the courtroom and exercising her constitutional rights under Marcy's law. You heard the objection. Did you have any response that you wish to offer with regards to that?
No, thank you.
All right. At this time, I am going to permit the victim's representative to remain in the courtroom. Is there an expectation that that representative will be testifying at some point during the trial?
I believe she'll be the first one to show.
All right. Okay, and the court will find then that there will be little to no prejudice given that the witness will be the first witness to testify. But if we need to revisit that issue, we certainly can do that. Okay, anything else before, or do we need a few minutes before we start with opening statements?
Mr. Hahn's going to do the opening statement. I believe he's good to go.
Okay, all right, let's go ahead and bring the jurors in.
Judge, I'm sorry.
Oh, just a minute.
I would make a motion for separation of witnesses. I don't know if you want to do that now or after opening, but the defense would move to separate all witnesses in this case so no one's able to hear the testimony of the other before they're called to the stand.
Okay. And Mr. Burris, on that issue, I've already ruled that the victim's representative may remain in the courtroom. Are there any other witnesses in the courtroom that you anticipate will testify?
Not on behalf of the state of Ohio, however, I do believe Mr. Wilder has at least verbally indicated to me you might be calling Miss Celeste. She is in the courtroom. So,
well, she was on your list too.
Yeah, but I'm not intending on calling her, but I'm not playing games with you that way. No. I'm just saying, she is in the courtroom, and you did verbally indicate to me that you may call her as a witness. So that's one for you. That's one for you to address.
And just so the record's clear, that was on the list that the prosecutor gave me through email. Her name was on that list.
Right.
I don't know if I will call her or not, so I would consider her a defense witness at this point and ask her to leave the courtroom.
All right, very well, thank you.
And I would also reiterate, I'm asking for my client to be addressed because I don't think he should be in this courtroom in front of this jury the way he's acting right now. I think it's prejudicial to him to do this in front of a jury. So I'm asking for him to be addressed on whether his appearance, he will waive it and go upstairs because I think it would impact his defense in this case.
All right, and again, I will rely on the cases that I previously cited, and I'm going to proceed with caution on this issue so as to give Mr. Madden the fair trial that he deserves, and that we will have to see where things go, but I hope that he'll be able to remain collected and assist in his defense. With regard to separation of witnesses, I will grant that motion, again, permitting the victim's representative to remain in the courtroom as well as Detective Horton, who is the state's designee. Okay, so with that, anyone that, other than those two individuals that expects to testify in this trial will need to leave the courtroom, and we can bring the jurors in at this time.
Judge, he's indicating he does not want to be in here.
Okay, all right.
I understand.
I made my ruling, and I'm going to stand by that at this time.
Oh, my. All right, I am grateful that I still have Jack Rice and Josh Schiffer because I'm not certain I quite agree with where we are on this. Granted, the judge cited Supreme Court law as well as Court of Appeals law in the state of Ohio, but the defense just said, okay, he's indicated he does not want to be in here. He's waiving his presence. He wants to leave the courtroom. He can't control himself. He's crying as the jury's allegedly going to come back in, and the judge said, I'll proceed with caution, but I'm going to stand my ground, and he's going to stay in here with one last warning to maintain decorum. I personally, Josh, am surprised because I think he could waive his presence.
You should be able to allow waiver of presence. It's really sticky ethical issues right there because the lawyer's trying to submit his judgment on behalf of his client, and it's just dangerous. It's hard because the client retains their constitutional rights. It is the client's right to a fair trial. It is the client's right to due process. To have the lawyer against possibly or uninquired into the actual client's wishes, that's a really sticky issue. I'm really happy to see the judge is well prepared, has obviously briefed the cases, looking at these specific issues so that the integrity of the trial is protected. But this is an interesting and novel beginning. I've never seen a lawyer basically say, hey, get my client out of here before openings.
Yeah, and he said it more than once. Jack, does it make a difference to you that the prosecution pointed out he's never had a problem before a jury or in court before?
Yeah, I get that, but we were talking about this earlier, Your Honor. What we have seen is that there is a big difference between preliminary hearings and when you're getting ready to sit in front of a jury. And yet at the same time, if we follow the judge's logic, what we're now waiting for is for him to prejudice himself in front of that jury. We've already seen him really out of control. We're already seeing him say to his lawyer, I don't want to be here, and ultimately to the court, I don't want to be here. And yet to say, we're going to wait for him to stand up, jump on top of a table, and scream from the top of his lungs, I don't see how that benefits justice.
Yeah, I am very surprised by the ruling once it continued down that path. So what we're going to do, gentlemen, I'm so grateful for you, especially today, a lot of legal issues that are popping up. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go back into court in Ohio to see what's next.
It was mass chaos in Kenosha.
A 17-year-old boy charged with killing 2 people during a chaotic protest.
Kyle Rittenhouse is the hero of Kenosha.
My son lost his life protecting other people. My son was a hero.
People are dug in on both sides.
It was scary to put him on, but we felt as though we had to.
I intended to stop the people who were attacking me.
Victim to Verdict with Ted Rollins. All new Sunday night, 8/7 Central.
Only on Court TV.
Every Halloween, she copies me. But at Michael's, we can be different. You're terrifying.
No, you're terrifying.
No, it's definitely you.
You're the most terrifying. But we look the same.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Ready to party? I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
That should hold it for now. What should we do?
I know what to do.
You do?
I'm going to CashNetUSA.com. I can apply in minutes, and if approved, we can have the money in our account as soon as the same business day.
You're my hero.
Saving the day is easy with CashNet USA.
When you need money fast, be the hero. Go to CashNetUSA.com to apply for the money you need now.
Hey, you folks. Matt McCoy here to talk about the AARP Auto Insurance Program.